Brian Moore, renowned as one of England's most accomplished rugby players, unveiled his memoir, Beware of the Dog, Rugby's Hard Man Reveals All, in 2010. While Moore had previously released an autobiography in 1995, it merely scratched the surface of his sports career, offering a sanitized, ghost-written account. However, in this latest offering, Moore fully embraces the book's subtitle, delving deep into his persona as a formidable competitor while also unpacking the psychological burdens that continue to shape him. Through candid reflection, Moore confronts the impact of childhood sexual abuse and the unresolved emotions stemming from his adoption, shedding light on the complexities of his character and the persistent struggles he faces. From the demons that haunt him to his strategies for navigating the transition from a storied sports career, Moore bears it all. Born Brian Kirk in Birmingham in 1962, his early life was marked by familial abandonment, as his Malaysian father departed soon after his birth. Raised by Ralph and Dorothy Moore, Methodist lay preachers who adopted him at 7 months old, Moore's journey to prominence in rugby was intertwined with a tapestry of personal challenges and triumphs. The Moores would go on to have 5 children, 3 of them adopted, and the family lived on a council estate in Illingworth, near Halifax. In his memoir, Moore describes for the first time that when he was 9 or 10 years old, a teacher sexually abused him during a field trip, abuse that continued in school. The book graphically describes what Moore suffered, explaining the ways in which this betrayal affected him. Ashamed that he was unable to tell anyone because the abuser was a church friend of his parents, Moore was also horrified by the fact that he wasn't initially repelled by what was happening. In an interview given on the book's publication, Moore admits that, however explicit the book seems to be, there are still things about the abuse he hasn't fully described. What would be the point in telling people more? In recounting all the hours and days that you just sat there with your head in your hands thinking, I'm so useless. Moore remembers how much he differed from his siblings, because of his extremely competitive nature. Over time, he found an outlet for his anger and frustration through rugby. As a sport of intense physicality, it provided me with a sanctioned avenue to engage in aggressive play, throwing myself into rucks and mauls with all the force I could muster. While some of his anger stemmed from past abuse, much of it also stemmed from his struggle to come to terms with the impact of his adoption. Moore reveals that he grappled with feelings of rejection and abandonment for most of his life, emotions that fueled a deep-seated rage until rugby offered him an acceptable release. On the field, he quickly earned the moniker Pitbull, embodying the archetype of the tough competitor with his compact, powerful physique, marked by scars and a battered ear. Throughout his career from 1987 to 1995, Moore's achievements with the England rugby team were remarkable: 64 caps, 3 Rugby World Cups, and Grand Slam victories in 1991, 1992, and 1995, along with 2 British Lions tours. Yet, his success was not without controversy. In his memoir, he confronts his aggressive tendencies both on and off the field, admitting to a kind of pathological addiction to violence within the game. As retirement loomed in 1995, Moore grappled with self-doubt and apprehension. Despite his parallel success as a solicitor and his diverse interests in literature, opera, fine wine, and grooming, including occasional visits to a manicurist, Moore openly acknowledges his uncertainty about life after rugby. Compounded by the aftermath of 2 failed marriages and his quest to reconnect with his birth mother, Rena, Moore's transition from the rugby spotlight was fraught with challenges. The encounter brimmed with unresolved sentiments as Moore conveyed his forgiveness for Rena's decision to relinquish him, though he struggled to grasp the motives behind her choice. Subsequently, he found himself unable to nurture a connection with Rena or his siblings, fearing it would betray the mother who had raised him. Moore reflects on the pervasive presence of a disparaging inner voice that incessantly critiques him, a voice he christened Gollum after encountering Tolkien's character, embodying the daily struggle between conflicting aspects of his psyche. This psychological journey took a pivotal turn when Moore engaged in fundraising for an organization combating online child exploitation, prompting him to confront and process his own traumatic experiences. Now contentedly married to his 3rd wife and doting father to his cherished daughters, Imogen and Larissa, Moore has forged a thriving career in media, contributing sports articles to The Sun and The Telegraph while providing commentary on international rugby matches for BBC TV. Acknowledging his ongoing journey of healing, Moore acknowledges moments of overwhelm amidst his trauma, yet also recognizes his capacity to navigate through it. Recently, he confided the details of his past to his adoptive mother, who, despite her distress, responded with quiet understanding and compassion, a reaction rooted in her faith, a sentiment Moore wishes he could embrace himself. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.